Hello everyone, I hope you guys are doing well. My name is Eva and I want to thank you for joining me here. Today I really just wanted to do a nice healing for abandonment, denial, so denial of self, denial of your own expression, feeling like things, so that goes in both directions, like denying yourself and feeling like you have been denied by others, by systems, by structures, by archetypes. This is a deep parental wound. It's a deep God wound. And there's deep, deep rage, deep grief, deep rage around this as well. So this could be extrapolating out into the events of your life in many different ways. But if this sort of speaks to you, if it feels like it's for you, then I encourage you to just get comfortable and sit with yourself, opening to self in the unity field, the eternal field. Taking nice deep breaths into the presence of your eternal self. Opening that connection of your awareness to the divine. You are always connected to the divine. The connection has not been severed. It's just that you're not looking at it. So we move our attention now to our eternal connection to the self. We intend to dissolve all limitations, all barriers between our current awareness and the awareness of our eternal beingness, of our divinity, of our sacred nature. We work with forgiveness, with compassion, true humility, which is to accept ourselves as God created us, not the littleness that we've made for ourselves. And to truly let the past go, to let the past die, to let die to self, right? That means to let go of all that you thought you were, all of the personality made in the false. Surrender that so that you can know your true self. You can walk in co-creation with the divine, and you can see the love that yourself is reflected in everything. It's how you know yourself. And we bring into our awareness, dissolving limitations in the Christ field, in ourself, in our what we would consider to be our individualized consciousness. Dissolve those limits into the unity field. And whatever guides, guardians, ancestors, archetypes, deities that you feel comfortable with, that you like to work with, feel free to call them in to support you at this time. The spirits of the earth, our earthly mother, the Heavenly Father, all of the great rays, the angelics, the elementals. As we come into union with ourself. Don't be afraid to look at which is scary to you at this time. Don't press anything down. Bring it all up to the surface to be released. If it comes out somatically, if it's uncomfortable, don't worry. Just let it pass through. Let it pass through you. Understand the movement of all things in this universe. Electromagnetic movement, right? A great dance. Nanita namna yanituna tasanchitaya kanasa. Give space to witness this grief, this rage, this desperation. Yanayini panakinas nunimanda kinatis, as we reveal all deception. Sanikanayan sunayin chinitritis, in the foundational beliefs of what we are. Kanaya mauru kanas natrati kani tomna kani shini kani kana. Wari hinam nayon tumna sunchais nais disi. Hyoi son chati kani maun son charato so kitana kinatati kana. Sumayon chotatis nandrato son. Hinitana konam naini son chomanatrit. And as always, this is an assistance for you to witness yourself as you are in the field, to witness and accept your powers as a co-creator, to witness the field, to see the co-creative currents and your true power, so that you may claim it for yourself and then move with it. Hinimaratuna kanayan china sansanitani natratu yumnayoto. Hina nuyum shikanis nandrayan sunchiriti kin sumnayun shikini trikayas noti. It's about shifting identity. Sini tanando apta kuno kuna kanisa ni tainion tokaisiun choas ditrayayat. Himan tikonim shitayosun chari kaya stati tanindri kayosoyat. Koa mayani kani aini kaini. Hinaya sutaya sunchaya siania. Kunatra kina tro ahinan tamna unjara kaistaya. Kunamnatis natratosoa. Shinikanayan sonamnitin dratus. It's really this deep abandonment, this deep doubt that you are cared for, doubt that there is an eternal presence, or any presence at all, that will come and help you. Hini kanamna koruitis, and there's obviously, we can imagine, incredible grief, incredible anger. Kini anayo nushamakina ni tumnatisi. This is also a forgiveness of God, and then a redefining in your system, in your localized field of what God is. You have to let God show you, but while you're angry at God and while you're misunderstanding what God is, you're misunderstanding yourself, and you're misunderstanding the flow of how creation is. And so that is a denial of self. If you deny God, you're denying yourself, because you are God. You are one with God. And so that forgiveness of the self and forgiveness of God, forgiveness of then all false narratives or constructions of God in any culture that you are from, or any religion. All major religions are of the false God. Written on top of truth, so there are glimmers, right? But all structures of control and manipulation and subjugation and hierarchy are not of unity. Kanayame hina nosum chatis natrayana kunimitini sonsoni shani kanati. So this might bring up, these are examples of what I am noticing, what I'm feeling called to bring out in explanation, but this could be coming up in many, many different ways for you. Hini kanayan soni shini trato sonchi kini kanayan satiat humaya nuyum to pim to shim sayas. But I think it's important to understand in this era, where religious traumas and, religion is so powerful in the culture and has been, your resistance to it is also participation. So there's a belief structure there that you're fighting, and that's not integrating. That's participation with its narrative, and essentially kind of like what feeds it, what keeps it alive. Your fighting it is not going to get rid of it. It's going to strengthen it, enrage in you. And this goes for anything that you're beating against. It's to see that true empowerment is allowance. It is that giving up of the attack and defense narrative. It is the surrender. It is the dissolving of the false for the truth to be revealed within you. And it is allowed to be easy. So all of this will bring up the belief that suffering is worthy, that suffering is important, that it's like character building or something that you need to go through. Do we go through it because we don't believe that we don't have to? Yes. Do we have to unravel the beliefs from within the experience of them? In my experience of my life, yes. Has that been incredibly effortful and painful in the body? Yes. I'm not going to sugarcoat that, and I can only speak to my own personal experience, but I truly believe that it need not be that way, and we are increasingly being shown and being asked to give up those beliefs so that we can truly be in the joy aspect, and to let the joy sort of dawn on you, and to remove joy from remove the definition of joy from specific actions or specific physical states, and understand joy and let joy be revealed from within you as a state of being. So this, and if you have listened to manifestation teachings from like Neville Goddard, or even like Abraham Hicks, and a lot of the sort of teachings that are inspired by these works, or emitting from the same field, they'll say it's all about this state. Being in the end, right, is like being in the end state is recognizing that the feeling, that the state of being is where the creation takes place, and that the physical streams out from that state. So we really want to bring, and that's like when I talk about cause and effect and healing the cause in the mind, that's the same thing. That you would bring healing to the mind where the choice is being made, because we can change our beliefs, and changing our mind is completely possible. And we must change our mind if we want to be free, if we want to know ourselves free. We are already free, but in the mind where creation is taking place here, we don't believe that, and so we emit all of this structure that is a defense against that truth, because we are emitting what we believe. And I think it's really important. What I think some manifestation teachings don't talk about is that you're not separate. You're not separate from the collective field, and you're not separate from the ancestors and the lineage and all of time, because in this universe, all of time is really in one place here. And it's all in the genetic DNA record of multidimensional realms. You can look at that through the chakra system, but you can look at it through time, space, or vector matrices. Like, there's all different ways to look at that. But like I was saying before, with the religious stuff, even if you don't consider yourself religious, you do live in a collective sphere, a planetary consciousness where that is present. And so whether or not you think you believe it for what is dictating your own personal life, there is no separate life. Your individual life is not separate from this field. So there are not things you can ignore. If you want to know yourself healed, there's a whole lot that is going to have to come for reckoning. So if it is being brought up into your awareness in some way, if you're having a negative reaction to it, then it's something that is bristling because you're shining light on it. It's something that's screaming so that you stop looking, and it incites fear in you, so you stop looking at it and you say, oh, that's not relevant to me. That doesn't make sense for my life. Even though that's something that I am bristling against. I don't need to look at that. Well, you've let that win then. And that's going to keep running its story unconsciously in you. So it's all about bringing the unconscious to the conscious at every level. And the more you practice in neutrality, the more it's easy to read the field without being emotionally swayed by it. So then you could see, actually, none of this belief is inherent to my being, and so I don't need to be upset by any of it, because it's all in meaningless duality. It's all in, only love is meaningful. Everything bred out of fear has no meaning. It has no meaning to God. It doesn't exist to God. But God gave you free will to imagine whatever you wanted, and this is what we wanted, and you have to reckon with that, and that comes out in an incredible variety of things in our world. Kanikanaya nikanayo to kanikana shanikana satutamna kunchamtiaritisia. So even if it's not like Christianity as we have it now, if you think of, what the image that's coming to my mind now is like Egypt and the pharaohs and the slaves, right? Like that was a religious-based slavery. That was a subjugation. It was a manipulation. It was a control. It was a denial. of life to living beings. But it was sanctioned by a temple, by a structure that on the surface would say that it was there to protect you, right? So then that could, in any way that is, in a family structure, in a government, in a community-based organization, in schools, oh my God, in schools. But throughout time, in all of the ways that those things have been written in the world, in this universe, everything that's been touched by duality. Kinitana kanoshamoko nimani santatina kana trato son shari kanirit. Hion samni kanishin dosum sontroar kinitium sontosh nitratis nitrihan. Kian sinindohina tratusum shayis natrahinda takinatusum shayasaya. So now what I'm seeing is almost like this waterfall, like of just allowing this light, this living light to wash you clean from within. Yani tanandosum shakinitis. Spirit doesn't need you to define all of the specific kinds of, it doesn't need you to continue to, I say this in every single video, but it doesn't need you to continue to unravel every single delusion by hand and like investigating every single little part about it. It wants you to open to understanding that you have been wrong and then decide what you want. Do you want to know yourself free, or do you want to keep mucking around in illusions? Because you don't have to do that. You can keep doing it. And depending on what you think what you feel that your mission is here, sometimes we do have to walk through that in order to sort of help untangle it for other people. But that's dependent on what you want. We have to get really clear about what we want and what you've asked for and what is sort of required based on what you've asked for. So if you want to know yourself completely free, you will unravel all of the ways that you are not free. If you want to heal, before I can remember having this idea, I have wanted to know in form what it means to heal and be healed as Christ. And so I have gone through, and because I think it's not just once that you do this, it's like you spiral, as we live in spiral time, that you keep going through this cycle as you reach different levels of mastery or unraveling certain beliefs, and then and you get closer and closer to this core separation, that you'll go through these death and resurrection cycles, because that's the cycles are what we've made of the world. And so you'll go through and you'll continually kind of die to self. You'll continually go through this ego death. You'll continually unravel and shed and burn away and burn away and burn away, so that it's not a test, it's what you've chosen to really reveal the light of the truth in form. But that's not what everybody wants. So take this for you and what you want. Kinikanayan sotishin satusi, because there's nothing better or worse. Everyone's unique journey here is beautiful and unique and worthy and right and like, it's not a value judgment. There's no value judgment placed on roles. That's something that we do as humans in duality and hate, but that's not of God. It's not about the physical at all. When you hear people like Neville Goddard say circumstances don't matter, and then you're like, what? That is essentially the same teaching as cause and effect. The effect being the physical world. You don't bring change to the effect and expect the cause to change, right? So it's not about what you're doing physically, and that is incredibly difficult for the ego to let go of or recognize or accept. It's the choice in your mind. we can be going through the same journey in our mind, and the way that it expresses out into your physical life may be very different from mine, because we are uniquely coded. Kini kanayon tu kayasho tu yana kanisan tu kamin yantinin so tison chikiaya kinam natro atikiaya. Kin taya sum shini traya son suin chani kinin drakotatun. Kini kana tu kamat uno tomata yanam natunam nayan chatis. Sion chakinayan tumnito ruikini toyoshon sondro insa nashni tratis. Hita kunum tayashum sa kanatra. Yana kanatra tunam natanta ina yunduro iti shonantuam nat hu yarati soyom chokuai. And we'll just pull through any final blessings. Kini kanatratis, kiana shonotus, remembering to stay in gratitude. Kini kanatroi kini insoni onchani. Vaya tokoruanam nahin tata kanashan santa tundo pita kanati sinchinian sinito yumtikai. Kina kinatuma kini kiniantiri tishinitan santa tusum jata sakya. Sindaratu suto koriti sum sham satin tai kinanda hine in shinotosum sanitanai. Thank you for my life. Thank you for my ability to create as you intended me to create, to be a co-creator, one with you. And even if you just used that as a redirection of your mind when you go into fear or you go into denial of self, negation of your mind by thinking that there are structures outside of you that have power over you, that there is something that could take your choice. Even if you move into gratitude to say, thank you for my ability. Thank you for my life, one in yours as a true co-creator. Your God having one son, right? Thank you. Thank you for my life. That changes everything. It's not about understanding how. It's about feeling into beingness, which is so heady, right? Very woo. But this is the ancient truth that has been taught since time began. I'm not making this up. This is the truth of being, and the truth that the world is a dream, and that you have the power to dream a different one. Waking up is for being formless. This is for dreaming a different dream, allowing the enlightenment of spirit to move through your form to end hell and dream a better dream. You have to accept that for yourself. But I hope that these videos help you do that. So we'll end it here. We say amen, resting in gratitude for all that has been given eternally to us. God only gives, God never takes. God doesn't deny, God doesn't abandon, God does not withhold. Knowledge is of God, which means knowledge is of your eternal being. I don't know if you could hear that sound, but I think it's a confirmation. Okay, we'll end that here. Thank you guys so much for joining me. If you feel called, there are many ways to work together if you'd like to go deeper. One-on-one sessions, recorded sessions, trance meditations, written guidance, all kinds of stuff, all linked below. So if you want to become a member of the channel, if the work is meaningful to you and it's been helpful, it really helps me out. So thanks so much, and I'll see you guys next time.